Welcome to the Dog Mom Knits podcast, episode 5. My name is Amanda, and I am coming to you from coastal Virginia, where I live with my husband, Sean, our 3 dogs, Bandit, Copper, and Finley, and our turtle, Rowena, who I don't always remember to mention in my little introduction. You can find me on Instagram as Dog Mom Knits, on Ravelry as Dog Mom Knits 08. And we have an email for this podcast if you ever have any questions or just want to reach out and say hi. And that is dogmomknits@gmail.com. This is a knitting podcast, and I will share all of my crafty adventures with you. And down below in that Dropbox, you will find links to my Ravelry project page and any shops, designers, or friends that I talk about. They'll be right down below. Today is April 1st. Happy April Fool's Day. I'm not really an April Fool's person. I don't think I ever was. And then I became a teacher, and April Fool's lost all fun for me because middle schoolers, April Fool's everything. And yeah, I think I don't know. It's never been a big thing for me. Excuse me, but today is April 1st. I might cough a little bit more today. I might reach for my coffee. I'm still drinking. I had errands to run, so I ran to Dunkin' Donuts and got a frozen vanilla coffee. Amazing. I am definitely a Dunkin' over Starbucks girl. Which are you? Are you team Dunkin' or team Starbucks or team something else? Impromptu poll. We Dunkin' people or Starbucks people? I'll drink Starbucks coffee, but Dunkin'. Definitely a Dunkin' girl. So it is Friday, April 1st. I don't know how many times I've said that, but in case you didn't know, it's Friday, April 1st. It has been a month since I podcasted last. Crazy. My last podcast I recorded on February 28th. It has been a month. March. Whew. Took 0 of the prisoners. The big news from March was that the school that I teach, where I teach, the students performed Mary Poppins, the full-length off-Broadway Mary Poppins, and they were incredible. That doesn't even begin to explain how incredibly talented they are, how incredibly talented their directors are, their music director and their stage director. It was a beautiful show. One of the parents told me that they had invited friends to come and see the show, and the friend said that the kids should go on tour. That the kids should actually take the show on the road so that other people could see it. And I 2 thumbs up that all day long. Like, that's a great idea. Let everybody see the amazing talent that these kids have. It was just, oh my gosh. No words. Even now, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later. Amazing. It was amazing. It was incredible. It was amazing. It was awesome. And it was exhausting. I'm not going to lie. If you've ever been a part of theater, you work. And so, my 2 weeks to podcast was the Sunday after show week. And I couldn't do it. I thought about it for about 5 seconds, and then I fell back asleep. So, and I was like, I didn't knit anything anyway. I think at that point I had knit half a sock in 2 weeks. And so there was no point. So I was like, whatever, it'll be fine. I'll just wait. And then I was like, I miss it. I miss all my friends on YouTube. So I was like, April 1st, I'm going to podcast. I'm not even going to wait until the weekend. I'm going to do it on April 1st because I miss you guys. This week was spring break, so you are going to see quite a bit of knitting that is just from this week. because that's the joy of spring break, is that I get to sit and knit the whole time. I am wearing my shirt from Knitty Natty's Spreadshirt shop. This was her definition collection. She does not have any of these in the shop right now. I'm not sure if she plans on bringing them back, but this one seemed very fitting for my podcast today, because it is my procrastinating shirt. And the definition is pretty funny, but my favorite part of this shirt are that the antonyms, is that what it says? Yes. The antonyms of procrastinating are housework and cleaning. And that has been my week. All the knitting, the house to-do list, not so much. But the knitting to-do list got a lot of attention this week. So yeah, let's start with my March goals. So if this is your first time tuning into the podcast, welcome. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. Thank you so much for hanging in there during my month-long hiatus from podcasting. But I am planning on continuing my 2-week schedule that I had set up before March. But if you're new, I have 3 goals that I set for myself every month. One is to finish my Desert Vista Dye Works socks, because I am participating in the 8th annual Desert Vista Dye Works monthly sock club. My second one is to start and finish a new project. And then my third goal is to pull from this pile, that's what this is right here, pull a UFO, an unfinished object, or a languishing whip, whatever term I use at the time. Projects that have been just sitting in this pile in project bags for months, sometimes years, and clearing them off the needles. So with those goals in mind, let's get started. So my first project that I'm going to talk about today is living in my Mountain State Stitches bag. I got this during, not her last update, maybe the update before that. Jenny of Mountain State Stitches. Her bags are amazing, just in case you didn't know. And this is my new project for the month. But it's not done. And I knew it wasn't going to be done because, well, here, let me talk about it first. So this is the start of my Perfect Fit socks. So I am taking this course from Knitty Natty, Natalie. And she designed a class on how to knit socks that fit perfectly every time. How to adapt patterns to this formula. And it's a 6-week long course. It started at the beginning of March. I am a little behind because the show. But that's okay. But I'm getting ready to do the heel of this sock. The yarn is Yarn Cafe Creations. The colorway is called Boozy Hot Wassail. And then I have a stitch marker that is a coffee bean, and that is from 3 by the Sea Designs. And yeah, I'm just working through the class, working through the sock, learning. Natalie's class is amazing. The videos that she's got are absolutely incredible. So very helpful, so informative, so much information. In such an easy to understand way. Like, it has taught me, and I thought I knew a lot about that little hair right there is driving me crazy. I thought I knew a lot about the construction of socks, and then I realized, like, there's so much more that I needed to know in order to make sure my socks fit. Like, because why put in all this time if they're not going to fit at the end? So I'll keep the numbers and stuff to myself because I don't want to give away too much of Natalie's class. But yarn, this yarn that I got, again, it's Yarn Cafe Creations. It is an 85-15 blend, 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon. So I did go up to a US 2, because that's what I have figured out about myself, is that if I'm knitting a 75-25 yarn, I knit on a US 1.5. And if I'm knitting on an 80-20 or an 85-15, I knit on a US 2. Just because there isn't as much nylon in an 85-15 or an 80-20, so it doesn't stretch as much. And I find that going up a needle size is really helpful. This yarn is so pretty. I can't see. There it is. So pretty. Oh my gosh, I love it. I love how it's knitting up. I love all that I'm learning. Definitely head over and follow Natalie if you don't already. Again, she's Knitty Natty on YouTube and Instagram. If you knit socks, definitely something that you want to look into, because you're going to learn a lot. Because I'm not even finished with the class and I've already learned so much. So that's my first goal. That's my new project. But again, it's not finished, and that's okay. I knew it wasn't going to be because, like I said, it's a 6-week class. March is only 4 weeks. I can't really do math, but I can do that math and figure out that I'm not going to finish. I wasn't going to finish in March. So that's okay. So my next goal, my Desert Vista Dye Works socks. I have finished those. So this is my March Desert Vista Dye Works socks. The main color is Slumdog Millionaire. And then this sock set, or this yarn, came with a black, I think it's a 20-gram mini. But it is a beautiful, beautiful rainbow. I am just, on the last podcast, I think it was, I said that my favorite color is glittery rainbow. I love a rainbow. I love the colors of it. This sock is stunning. This yarn is stunning. I love it. And I did finish both. So here is the second one. Guys, there are not enough words. There just are not enough words for how much I love this. The pattern was a test knit for Allison of Lofty Loops. The pattern came out today. It is called her Cold Brew Socks. Very, very, very much recommend this pattern if you are knitting any self-striping yarn, because it is just one step up from vanilla socks, but keeps it interesting. And then it's just a fun texture when you're finished. I just thought it looked really, really cool. And all the testers were posting their pictures, and it looks good in every single yarn. There wasn't a single yarn that wasn't like popping because of the way Allison designed this pattern. So just love it. So Desert Vista Dye Works. These are my March socks. Slumdog Millionaire. Absolutely incredible. Rainbow. Beautiful. I just can't stop looking at them. I can't stop staring at them. They're still a little bit wet, but once they dry, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to ever stop wearing them. Oh my gosh. I still have some of the color, like some of the stripes left, and I want to do something really, really special with them. I don't know what. What do you do with your scrap yarn? Do you have a blanket that you're knitting? I have a Coziest Memory blanket. Not that I remember the last time I put anything in it. I had an idea of doing a granny stripe blanket, although I don't really know how to crochet. What do you do with your scraps? Do you have a pattern that you love that's for scrap yarn? Because help a sister out. Leave it down below. So my third project for the month, my languishing whip, or my UFO, my unfinished object, was, emphasis on the word was a Musselburgh hat that I was knitting out of Knit Picks Swish DK, I believe it was. This was a hat that I started a while ago for my husband, and I pulled it out for the last podcast and said I was going to frog it, and then decided while recording the podcast that I wasn't going to frog it. And then during the month of March, I went with that original decision, and it is frogged. Nothing against the pattern, nothing against the yarn. I didn't want to knit it. I would take it out of the project bag and I would look at it and I would go, this is good. I've made a lot of progress. It's very squishy yarn. I'm going to knit this. And I'd put it right back in the project bag and put the project bag right back in the pile and take out my socks or the next thing I'm going to show you. And I was like, if I don't want to knit it, if it's not bringing me joy, then I need to just frog it, because I'm a process knitter, not a product knitter. And so Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady has talked about this some on her podcasts, I believe, but I don't always wear the stuff that I knit. I'll knit a shawl and love every second of it and be like, I'm going to wear this all the time. And then I never wear it, because for me, it isn't about the product. It's about the process. I have to love the process of knitting. Even if I give away the product at the end, the joy that it brought me while I was knitting it is everything. And so this was going to make a great product, but I didn't like the process. And so out it goes. And this was just confirmation for me that I am a process knitter, and that's okay. Like, I'm okay with that. And I asked Sean first, I was like, if you really want this hat, I will persevere. I will get it done for you. And he was like, absolutely not. If you don't want to knit it, frog it. And I was like, great. I'm frogging it. So I have 3 balls of the Swish DK in the Solstice Heather. It's kind of it's almost like a navy blue. It's really pretty. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I may just give it away, because why not? Why not give it to somebody that has a brilliant idea for it? It's just not, it's not going to be a Musselburgh hat anymore. I know that. So I was like, okay, I'm frogging that. I need a UFO. I need an unfinished object from this pile. And in acquisitions, I'm going to talk about a shawl that I really want to cast on. And I was like, wow, okay. So I know what bag I want to use. I want to use my red panda bag from Jenny of Mountain State Stitches, because this is the cutest. Look at their little faces. Are they not so cute? So I was like, well, if this is the bag I want to use, and this has a shawl already in it, the sensible thing to do, not that I always make sensible choices, mind you, but the sensible thing to do would be to finish the shawl that's in here, and then I can use this bag for the next shawl. So I pulled this out. It is, so the pattern calls for one main color, which for me is this like creamy white, and 5 minis. So I have this pink, which is more like a kind of dusty pink. Pull this out so I can actually get to the rest of them. I have a yellow, like a golden yellow, blue, green, whoop, there we go, green, and my favorite, purple. And this yarn is, just covered up my notes. This yarn is Wonderland Yarns Pigments of Imagination, and it is their Mad Hatter set. I love Alice in Wonderland. I've always loved Alice in Wonderland. My favorite character is the Cheshire Cat. Mad Hatter, very close second though. Like, so good. Who's your favorite Alice in Wonderland character? Comment down below because I'm curious now. But the pattern that I started with this set is from Cozy Up Knits, and it is the Katie Goes Loopy shawl. So if you have seen the Cozy Up Knits podcast, it is a podcast of 4 sisters. Katie is one of the twins. And Sarah, I believe, designed the pattern. But it starts down here. Won't give too much of the pattern away. But then it's got this set right here of flowers. And then I'm in the second set of flowers. I've only done the pink. And then it'll go through the yellow, green, blue, and purple. The pattern originally calls for fingering weight yarn. This is, I believe, a sport weight yarn. It could be DK. I'm not 100% sure, actually. But I'm okay with the fabric that I'm getting. And I'm knitting this on US 6 needles from Jimmy Bean Wool. I got these in an advent that I did a couple years ago with my best friend. That was our gift to each other, was the advent. So yeah, this was what I pulled out. It is going really quick. I'm loving knitting on it. I just I like to-do lists. I like having a list of things to do each day kind of laid out so that I don't get to the end of the day and go, oh, I forgot to do this and I forgot to do this and I forgot to do this. Because that's just how my brain works. I won't do, like, I'll just sit and start knitting and nothing else will get done all day. And so on my to-do list, I was like, okay, I'm going to knit these rows of garter stitch. And then I'm going to do these flowers. And then today it says, my to-do list says add the next set of garter stitch. And then tomorrow it's add the flowers. So I'm going to keep progressing along with this and get this done so that I can start my next shawl and just keep everything. Oops, almost dropped it. Keep everything in these cute little pandas. Have I told you guys, like, my obsession with pandas? Red pandas, black and whites, doesn't matter. Obsessed. My mom, since I was born, probably, has called me Amanda Panda. She still calls me Amanda Panda. I think it's cute. And so, yeah. So anything panda is going to make its way into my house if I see it. And so when Jenny had this update a while ago, I think this was my first of her bags. Yeah, there we go. But of course it had to come to my house because Amanda Panda needs all the pandas. One of the, so I teach at a small private school. I don't know if I've ever said that. On campus, we have pre-K 3-year-olds up through seniors in high school. And that's just so much fun to be a pre-K through 12 school. And so one of my students, his mom is a teacher at the school. She teaches third grade, second grade. I'm pretty sure it's second grade. And one of her students, they're just little, and they give you hugs even if if you smile at them, they smile back and wave, and then if they know you, you get a hug every day. They're just the cutest things. Oh my gosh, I love them. I could not teach them. Let's just say that. God made me to be a middle school teacher. I could not teach them, but they were super cute. But one of the girls was wearing a panda shirt months ago. And I told her that story, that my mom has called me Amanda Panda since I was a little kid, and that I love pandas and that they're my favorite and all this stuff. That teacher's entire second grade class calls me Amanda Panda now. One of the other teachers heard them calling me Amanda Panda, not Mrs. and my last name, first name, nickname. And she looked at me to see my response. And my response was, "Hi guys, it's so good to see you." It's fine. When I teach them in middle school, they will not call me that. But I'm just fine. More than fine with them calling me that now. Because it's so cute. They're just so adorable. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I think this episode is going to be the episode of tangents. Because I am just having, I don't know, all the tangents. It's because I haven't seen you guys in a month. I have all the stories to tell you. So I'm looking at my notes and at my box because I'm trying to figure out, what I was even talking about before I started talking about my cute little second graders. They're not mine, but I'll claim them. And I'm like, where was I? Okay, so March goals. I did okay. Frogged one, restarted one, UFO, finished my Desert Vista Dye Work socks, and I'm working my Perfect Fit socks are going along. So very happy with that progress, especially knowing how crazy March was. So in April, my UFO, my unfinished object, my languishing whip, I don't know, whatever I decide to call it, is my Katie Goes Loopy shawl. That is my goal, to finish that in, really I would love to finish it in the first 2 weeks of April because I'm starting another shawl, or I want to start another shawl, but minimum by the end of April, I would like to have that finished off the needles. My Desert Vista Dye Work socks for this month, it's already caked up and ready to go. I haven't started it yet because I was out running errands this morning, but I will cast it on as soon as I'm done here. It is Magician's Nephew. So if you know the Chronicles of Narnia series, The Magician's Nephew is a prequel. So I believe C.S. Lewis wrote The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe first, but The Magician's Nephew is set before The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And if you like that series, if you like The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and you haven't read The Magician's Nephew, highly recommend, because it's like the origin story of the wardrobe. Like how the wardrobe became magic. It's just cool. I love it. I read The Magician's Nephew more often than I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is really funny. But it is all of those fun colors, the green and the pink and the purple and the yellow, and it just screamed spring to me. And this is on her, and I'm not going to pronounce this right, but this is on her ZN base, which is her glitter base. And it's picking up a little bit of the glitter there. Everything I've knit from her has been on her Viso base, which is her regular 75-25 sock yarn. So I thought when I saw this, and I love the book and I love the colors, I was like, you know what? Let's do something Narnia's magic. So somehow that translated in my head to let's get some glitter. Why not? So it is caked up and ready to go. It is living in the bag that all of my Desert Vista Dye Works socks have been in thus far. And that is from the guy who sews, which is my husband. It's the Scaredy Cats at a movie theater. I love this bag. It is so fun. So yeah, that's going to happen while I'm proofreading. Whoops. While I'm editing and proofing this podcast. I'm going to go ahead and get those started. Oh, I have one pattern published right now. It is the road trip socks. You can find it on Ravelry, but if you are not on Ravelry for any reason and you are interested in the pattern, just send me an email. Again, dogmomknits@gmail.com, and I'm sure we can work something out. But I do have one pattern published, and I want to publish another one. I really enjoyed the process of designing a pattern. And just, school's been crazy, and that's normal, and I'm okay with that. But last night or yesterday, I was looking for a pattern that would be kind of one step above vanilla so that I wouldn't get overwhelmed by it, but it wouldn't be just knit for 2 socks. And an idea just popped into my head. And I wrote it down really quick because I didn't want to forget, because the cavern that is my brain. So I'm going to try to, can you guys hear Copper snoring? He's so funny. I'm going to try that pattern. And if I like it, watch this space, because if I like it, I may type it up and ask if anybody wants to test knit it for me. So yeah, watch this space. Hopefully in the next 2 weeks, when I come back in 2 weeks, I'll be letting you know the pattern worked. Any testers, or the pattern did not work. Here is a vanilla sock. We'll see. So my third goal, my new project is in the month of April, is going to be, the shawl that I was talking about before, but it segues into acquisitions. So this is going to be future cast-ons and acquisitions. So the shawl that I want to cast on is called the Outstranding shawl by Christine Archer. Natalie, who is Knitty Natty, and the yarn shop Yarnia are doing a knit along for this shawl, and it's pretty. And so I was like, okay, yes, I want to do it. And I went through my yarn and was like, I wonder if I have anything. And I came across the March Yarnable colorway, because I do subscribe to the Yarnable boxes from Hypnotic Yarn. And it is this beautiful white with all of those speckles. And I wanted to do something maybe more than just a pair of socks. They would make a beautiful pair of socks. But I really wanted something that would get a lot of use, that could be a staple in my wardrobe. And the Outstranding shawl needs 100 grams of fingering weight yarn. So here we are. And then it needs 27 grams of minis or scraps. So with the March Yarnable box, or in the March Yarnable box, was this mini skein from Arkansas Yarn Co. So this is a 20 gram mini. And then in my stash, I had this purple. That's getting up. There it goes. So this is going to be the main color. And then these two are going to be the stripes. I'm going to do, I think, 5 stripes of this and 4 stripes of this, something like that. And then it needed a border color that had 35 grams. So I went online and onto Etsy, and I found, I haven't even unwrapped it yet, so I'm sorry if this is noisy and crinkly, but I found this yarn from, hold on, let me get the name right. It is Nanette Wake Studio. And so in the Yarnable colorway, there's purples and greens and blues and pinks and yellows. And the part of this shawl that was like, the part of the yarn that I was really looking at was this group of speckles right here. And so I wanted to pick up the blue. And so I bought this to be the border color. And again, this is Nanette Wake Studio. The color is Sea Breeze. And I did not say this before, but Hypnotic Yarn, when she sends out her Yarnable colorways, they are an 8515. This is Shenanigans. The mini from Arkansas Yarn Co. did not have a name. It's just this beautiful lime green. This purple, I don't have any idea what this is. It was just purple in my stash, and I love purple. And then, like I said, this blue is going to be, or this blue is called Sea Breeze. It is also an 8515. So, yes, love it. I'm so excited. So I think, let me see if I can hold all of these up together. So it'll be kind of like this. The speckle white, purple, green, blue. And I just think that's going to be really, really pretty. I think that's gonna, like, the colors together are gonna be really, really beautiful. And I'm really, really, really excited about them. And then also in the Hypnotic, or excuse me, in the Yarnable box, there were 2 stitch markers from 3 by the Sea Designs. If you are a return viewer, you know that this is my stitch mark obsession. And so when I opened it and I was like, oh my gosh, 3 by the Sea, and it's a rainbow and a kind of glitter green. So I will be using these with my shawl if I need stitch markers. I don't know. I haven't read the shawl yet. I've read the pattern yet. I bought it. I just haven't read it yet. So yeah, that is my new project for April and some of my acquisitions. So I don't feel like I did a ton of knitting in March because I was so busy, but I did do a decent amount of yarn shopping. My husband was like, can we please be done? I was like, I guess so. Because I did. So I've not ever purchased that's not true. Several years ago, I think it was 2018, I purchased an Advent from Jimmy Bean's Wool. And I loved it. But I've not ever purchased an Advent calendar where you open a mini for 24 days and it has like things in it, things with the yarn, and then you get the full skein on the 25th. I've never purchased that before, but I've watched 2 years of Vlogmas of various people talking about their Advents, and I was like, okay, maybe this is the year that I'm going to do this. And this week, Natalie of Blush Yarns put up her Advent, and that's the Advent that I wanted. I was thinking about because it just seems like her colors are very much my aesthetic based on what I have seen being opened on previous Vlogmas episodes. So that's a thing. So that was purchased. acquisition, but obviously I won't get it until November. And then when I do Vlogmas this year, you'll be able to see me opening it and, yeah, and figuring out what pattern I'm going to do and all that stuff. So I'm very excited about that because I think that's going to be really fun. Because like I said, I haven't done it before. Like I've done an advent, but the Jimmy Beans wool advent was different too. Sorry for the crinkling. The Jimmy Beans advent wool was different. What did I just say? Let me try again. The Jimmy Beans wool advent was different because you got like you got enough yarn to do one section of the pattern every day. And that was really cool, but it's not the same as like the big kind of advents that you think of when you think of a yarn advent. So that will be here in November. Super excited. Super excited. Are you getting an advent? Are you guys getting an advent? Let me know down below if you're joining me on Natalie's advent, or if you are getting a different advent, or if you don't get an advent. Yeah. My next acquisition is from Desert Vista Dye Works. I do not have enough for the year. And so I go through each month and look at the colorways that she releases each month. And because she's a dyed to order, and so she puts out collections every month. My husband is Australian, and in March, she had her Australia collection open. So, you know, that was going to happen. And so I got this yarn. And it is called Great Barrier Reef. And that is one part of Australia that I have not been to that I really, really, really want to go to. I want to go snorkeling in the reef. My husband's sitting over there. I'm wondering if he's listening. I want to go snorkeling in the reef.
Okay, you'll do it next week.
He said, okay, we'll do that next week. I'm not going to Australia next week. But anyway, I don't know when. This might be one of my summer knits for the knit along. But it is so pretty. And I think it's going to knit up so beautiful. And I'm so excited. Makes me think of my Australia family, who I love and don't see nearly enough. So yeah, that one. Add to the pile of future knits. What else? Oh gosh, there's more yarn. See, I don't even remember what's in this box. It's like stuff came in and I just put it in there. I just put it in my podcasting box so I could show it to you guys. Maybe Sean has a point. Maybe I did buy. I mean, I know I did. I bought a lot of yarn this month. Because when you don't have time to knit, you buy yarn. Right? Makes total sense, right? To everybody else. Let me know below if that's what you do. Because if you do, it'll make me feel better. So I am part of Allison of Lofty Loops membership. She's amazing. I love her. I love her podcast. And I'm a patron of hers on Patreon. And she is shifting over to a new website. And so she offered her members a discount if they shopped off of the new site. And that was all the excuse that I needed to hop on over there and get some yarn. I was only going to get one, but I got two. It's okay. They're close in number. 1, 2. I mean, that's basically the same, right? Like, it's not that different. So the first one I got is this one. It's called Fairy Floss. This is on her Lofty Posh DK, which is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, and it is 230 yards, 100 grams, and the name is Fairy Floss. So when Allison was showing her advent colors for her advent calendar, her Lofty Loops advent calendar this past Christmas of 2021, she had a naming contest every day on Instagram. And when I saw this color, it just immediately screamed cotton candy to me. And in Australia, they don't call it cotton candy. They call it fairy floss. And so I suggested it on her Instagram, and that's what she named it. I just thought that was so fun. So because I named it, I was like, well, then I have to have it. And I really want to try DK weight socks. And the fact that this is cashmere, has cashmere in it, you know, I feel like that's just going to be so good. And so that was my first one. And then while I was looking around, because, you know, I'm not going to click and like one thing and not shop around. What? It's crazy. I saw this and I was like, I need this in my life. So this is called Cactus Flower. I don't even think this is going to focus as my camera usually doesn't. But it's called Cactus Flower. Just like, look at that section right there, guys. Just look. Look at the green. Copper gave it his snort of approval. This is so good. So this is on her Lofty Glitz because I need glitter in my life, y'all. Like, come on. And it's 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, and 5% silver stellina. 438 yards, 100 grams. So good. It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful socks. And I've not tried Allison's yarn before. I've never purchased from her before. I've always wanted to and didn't. And so, yeah, I think this needs to be a thing. The crazy sock lady, Kay, said that she is planning on doing summer sock camp again this summer. So need to start getting the planning side of my brain going so that I have my list of socks that I want to start and finish during summer sock camp. Because that'll be fun. What else? Oh, I know. 3 by the Sea Designs. Because why wouldn't I buy from them? Hold on, I have to find the other two. Because they're actually in here in my project bag, ready to go for my Desert Vista Dyework socks. So 3 by the Sea had their spring update. Guys, I wasn't going to buy anything. Also known as Other Lies Amanda Tells Herself. Every time 3 by the Sea posts that they're doing anything. Speaking of which, in 13 minutes, I have to go buy a project bag from them. Guys, the obsession. I can't even call it like I like them. Like, I am obsessed. And okay with it. Like, let's just be honest. I don't mean that as a bad thing. I'm fine. Proclaiming to the world, I'm obsessed with 3 by the Sea. Okay? Everybody ready for why? Look at that cuteness. Hold on, let me see if I can get it to focus. Of course, it's not going to. Look at the cuteness. He's even got a little carrot. She's got a little bow. Oh my goodness. Precious. So I got my little bunny. And then I got my super cute little lamb. Because adorable. And then, because Kim is amazing and she watches my podcast, which let me just fangirl for a second that 3 by the Sea watches my podcast. Kim watches my podcast. That's amazing. Sorry. When she subscribed to my channel, I legit fangirled. Like, freaked out. My husband was like, that's great. And I was like, yes, it is. Why aren't you more excited? It's all good. But she sent me a gift with my order. Excuse me. Let me take a sip of my coffee because I'm fangirling and getting all excited. So I said on the last podcast that my favorite color is sparkly rainbow. And so she sent me this stitch marker because it is a sparkly rainbow. Is it not the sweetest thing ever? I love it. I love this stitch marker so much. I don't even know that I can use it. I think I may just have to hang it somewhere. Because it was a gift and because because it means so much to me that she was packing my order and she was like, Amanda said on her podcast, she likes sparkly rainbows. I will send her a sparkly rainbow. Like, guys, that's so sweet. Somebody, it's like that thing that you hear, like, they like me. They really like me. Oh, guys, like, it's just, oh, every comment does that. Every well wish. All the feels. My last acquisition is more stitch markers. It's from Whimsy and Sassy. And again, all of these shops will be linked down below. It is a so beautiful umbrella and raindrop. Isn't that so cute? So she was posting on Instagram about having stitch markers that were Ukraine themed and was just giving them away. Just if you wanted one, you just needed to comment and ask for one. And these were the ones that she was offering. And the sticker behind says, I stand with Ukraine. And I messaged her and I was like, I would love 2 of them because I put a stitch marker on each sock as I'm knitting it, and I don't take it off until this set is done. The pair is done. And she was like, absolutely. And I was like, can I please send you shipping for it? Can I can I pay for it? Just feels, like I wanted to do something. And she was like, nope, that's not my heart, essentially. And so I was like, okay. And so I went to her shop and I found and fell in love with this set of stitch markers, the umbrella and the raindrop. And so I bought it and and then I went back to Instagram and I was like, okay, I just bought a set of stitch markers so you can just throw in the Ukraine ones too. And she was like, oh, that's so sweet. I was going to talk about this with my life update, but I feel like it fits better here. So the reason I was interested in the Ukraine stitch markers is because we host exchange students, and our exchange student from this year was Mary. She was supposed to be here from August to June. She went home in December for quite a few reasons, but she went home to Ukraine, and she and her family are there. They are safe, as safe as they can be. Her town is not in the center of the chaos. During show week, the way I was phrasing it was Putin remembered where she lived because he was bombing near her town. Like right on the outside of her town. But that has stopped. She's safe. She's well. Her family as well. Thank you to everyone who commented on the last podcast and just said you're praying for her and you're thinking of her. That means more than I can say, and I screenshot every comment and send it to her so that she knows that she has a community of people surrounding her, and it really does bring her comfort and strength. So thank you to everyone who commented. Thank you to everyone who has sent a message, who's praying for Mary and everyone in Ukraine. It just means a lot, more than I can ever say. So, take a sip of coffee. And process. So, from the last podcast, I announced that I had reached 100 subscribers, which is intense. I'm actually at over 200 subscribers now, which is mind blowing. I think I said last time I only ever expected to have like 10. It's like, you know, if I get 10, I'll be happy. And I can't even believe that I'm at over 200. But I announced on the last podcast that I was going to do a giveaway. So this is one of the bags for my husband. He does not make bags and sell them on Etsy. Etsy is, I'm sure if you're on Instagram, you've seen Etsy's upping their prices or something. So if you are interested in a bag from the guy who sews, please send him an email or send me an email or comment on this video, and I will make sure you get in touch with him. He would love to make you a project bag. He just isn't going to be selling them on Etsy because he's not, and that's his decision as a business owner. But if you are interested in his bags, please, please, please comment below or send me an email or send him an email. Pause. What email do you use for the business?
The guy who sews at gmail.com.
So he is the guy who sews at gmail.com. I will put that down like right here on the screen. But please, please, please send him an email or send me an email or comment here or go follow him on YouTube and Instagram. He's happy to make you a bag and just forego all the extra pricing issues that is Etsy, apparently. So I'm giving away this bag and this skein of yarn from Long Dog Yarn, Brandy. I love it. It's called Pride and Prejudice. And I did a giveaway I used my giveaway app. So I'm going to put the video right here. And the winner is Vicky Shaw. So Vicky, please send me an email, dogmomknits@gmail.com, and let me know your mailing address, and I will make sure that your prize gets to you as soon as I possibly can. So hopefully maybe the day or the day after you send me the email, I will be able to get this into the mail to you. Please follow me on Instagram and send me pictures or post pictures of what you knit with it. I would love to see it of you using the bag. Sean would love to see that too. So thank you so much to everybody who commented, to everybody who has subscribed. It just means more to me than I can say. So that's all of the knitting content for today. So if that's all you're here for, thank you so much for hanging in. I am not surprised at all that this one went a little long because I haven't podcasted in a month. So thank you for hanging in there. If you did, I really appreciate it. I'm going to do a little bit of a life update and then we'll be done. So for the past several months, I have been reading the Maggie Sefton knitting series. I am on book 10. I believe there are 16 of them. And I just started book 10 last night. I have read these before. I have a Goodreads account and it looks like I have read them. This is the third time I've read them and I love them. I remember some of them. I'm like, oh, that's who did it. And that's okay. It doesn't bother me to remember who the murderer is. But it's just a really cool series. So if you are into cozy mysteries at all, I highly, highly recommend it. This week I have been doing, or the last couple weeks, I've been doing a big binge of House on Peacock. I'm in season 7. I believe there are 8 seasons, but House and I are breaking up. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I just find myself wanting it to be over. I'm just not here for it anymore. So House and I are breaking up. I hope he'll be okay. I'll probably go onto Google and Wikipedia and figure out what happens in season 7 and 8 of what I'm not going to watch, but I'm done. I did finish Castle. So That's good. So please, please, please help a sister out. Please put something down below. What do I watch next? If you are a Father Brown fan and you have BritBox subscription, there is a Father Brown spinoff called Sister Boniface, and that is so fun. I love it. I'm so here for it. But yeah, what else? I've watched Murdoch Mysteries several times. What else? What else can I watch? Help me out. Down below, leave all the suggestions. I need them. I already gave you my Mary update. Our exchange student in Ukraine. We just, in the last 2 weeks, got matched with our next exchange daughter. So we will be welcoming Charlotte from France into our family. She will be arriving in August and staying with us for the year. She will be attending our local high school as a senior. We have emailed back and forth maybe once or twice, but she seems really, really sweet. And I am so excited to keep getting to know her and welcoming her into the family. So that's really exciting. And then last big piece of news is a ways off, but I am so excited about it. My very best friend, Jen, who lives in Wisconsin, and Sean and I and Charlotte, though Charlotte doesn't know it yet, are going to be meeting up in Rhinebeck in October. And my best friend Jen and I will be going back to the New York Sheep and Wool Festival, or Rhinebeck Festival. And I'm so excited. I have already started the list of what I need, and it is April. So if you're going to Rhinebeck, or you're thinking about going to Rhinebeck, let me know, because maybe we can meet up. Maybe we can knit. That'd be really cool. I would love that. Just so you know, we are going to be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So yeah. Those are the only real big news things going on. Spring break this week. We have 1 quarter left. I can't even believe it, of school. Only 9 weeks left of school. It's intense. This year has both flown by and gone very slow. It's like, I don't know how that happens, but yeah. So the video says I have been talking at you guys for 1 hour and 2 minutes. It's a crazy amount of time. And it is also 2 o'clock, which means 3 by the Sea is doing their update right now. So I'm going to go shop and knit. And I hope that you guys are having an amazing start to your spring. I hope that it is warm and sunny and colorful wherever you are. And I hope that whatever you are knitting is bringing you joy. Have a blessed 2 weeks, and I will see you on the next one. Happy knitting.